Okay, we are live. We're here. Oh my goodness. You guys have no idea. Seriously, you have no idea how excited I am for this masterclass. It has been on my heart for a long time. For a long time. And then when I announced it, it was like, oh my gosh, do we have to wait till Friday to do all of this? But we're here. If you are here with me live, please share in the comments, say hello. I am just beaming with energy, beaming with all of my notes, beaming with all of my knowledge that I am here and ready to share with you. So as you guys are hopping on, hello, hello. I am just, like I said, it's been long overdue that I have needed to do this masterclass, and we're gonna get into it in just a minute. But before we do, I wanna just do something kind of special. I'm not a healer. I'm not an energy worker. That's not my specialty. But I've done a shit ton of energy work on my own for myself. And what I want to do is just take about 30 seconds, close our eyes, take a big breath, take a big woosah, because I know my energy is just going to be off the charts. So I just want to get myself grounded. I want you to be grounded. I want you to be ready and present and here for this masterclass. So just close your eyes for a second. Others are probably tuning in. They're probably coming on, and that is okay. If you see me looking crazy with my eyes shut, it's all just to bring us here. Okay. All right. I just cannot, because there's so much in this masterclass that I want to spill to you. So I needed to do a little grounding before I forget my train of thought. Things are going everywhere because it's been a while since I've talked to you guys, and some of you may have never talked to me before. So this is all super new, and I want to just introduce myself, and then we're going to get into this class and give you this 4-part little tidbit that I have put together for you for today. So if you've never heard of me, let me know in the comments if this is the first time you have seen me, heard me, read anything about what I do. I'm Katie Foster, as you have seen. I am Katie Foster. I am here in Maryland, and I started my virtual assistant business at the tail end of 2020, and it has been effing bananas. So I hope that you guys may or may not have kids around. I will keep it pretty PG, but it's been intense. It's been intense in all of the best ways. I've shed a ton of tears. I've tried a lot of things, and it is just time that I share with you kind of how I have risen to this level of success that people will look at me and they're like, no one else is doing this. One of my clients, she's been in business for years, and she's like, Katie, I don't get it. I've never seen a virtual assistant or a service provider have the success that you have had so quickly. And I'm like, well, damn, why? Why isn't that the norm? Why can't people just jump into this industry and create that success for themselves? So again, I'm just gonna give you a little bit of a backstory on how I got started. I don't wanna take up too much time on me, because that's really not the focus. The focus is on you becoming a virtual assistant, service provider, whatever it is that you want to be offering, and to hit those 10K months so that you can achieve the success again that I have succeeded at having. So when I got started, it was October, okay? It was October 2020. Hi, Brittany. Thank you. I honestly did not want to be a virtual assistant. If you know me and my history in business, I have always been a network marketer. I've always been selling anything and everything I can get my hands on, because I always had this big vision. I've always known that this online world was for me. I knew I was going to be successful. I knew I was going to bring in this income that was going to create such a freedom for me and my family. I just didn't really know how or with what direction. I just wanted to go in any direction. And I had hired a coach, because at this point in my career in network marketing, everyone was a network marketing coach. Everyone was coaching social media and this and that. And I was like, well, I want to do that too. If people are being successful doing that, that's what I'm seeing, and I'm going to follow that lead. So I had hired a sales coach, And to be honest with you, it was almost like a bad move, but it was like a blessing in disguise. Hey, Chas. And it was kind of like I hired this person for $3,000 and within like our first week of working together, I didn't even want her to coach me on what I hired her to coach me on. Like I didn't want to go that direction anymore. And it was on my heart to offer virtual assistant services, but because I never truly saw myself doing that, and I never saw really anyone else doing that, I just didn't really think that that was going to be for me. I mean, you can go on Instagram, you can search virtual assistants, but like it wasn't my vibe. It wasn't what I saw myself doing, and it was kind of like it was very low vibe and basic, I will say, and that wasn't my taste. That wasn't what I wanted to do. So I was kind of sitting back and like, well, why do I keep thinking about this? Why do I want to go in this direction, but yet I have no guidance? I see no one doing what I want to do in the ways that I want to do it, right? They're not this high level brand that I wanted to become. So it felt like, what the heck? What am I going to do? I don't have anyone to like really give me a great example. But I did it anyway. I did it anyway. I took a full leap. I posted in my stories that I was going to offer some services, admin, engagement, content. I was going to offer these services, and guess what? Within 24 hours, the coach that I had hired said she was looking for a virtual assistant, and that was all of the clarity and the solidifying that I needed to know that, you know what, I'm going for it. I am going for it. And by the end of that next full month, I was completely booked out to the point where I cannot spend any more time with any more clients or I'm going to go insane. Within 3 months from start date, I had hired an assistant to work with me 12 hours a week to help me. And I was like, holy shit, how in the world can I afford someone now to work for me for 12 hours a week? Like, that's a crazy milestone. And then within 6 months, here we are hitting 12K months, 15K months, 20K months. Like, it was bananas. And then I just stopped looking at my report, and here we are after a year, and it was surpassed $100,000. Never when I started at the end of October did I think that that was going to happen. And there were so many things in my personal life that took me way under that I don't even feel comfortable with sharing yet, because I'm not even like fully through it. I'm not, I don't want to say the word healed, even though that's kind of like this journey that I've been going on. And I'm just not ready to get into that nitty gritty yet, but I will tell you that there were so many blocks in my road that should have never put me over this income level that I was at. So to say that you can lean in and go full speed ahead with this business and it can support you, I 1,000% believe in it, okay? So like I said, end of October, I said, all right, I'm all in. Within that first 30 days, I was completely booked. And guess what? In that 30 days, that's when my bombshell in my personal life took me so far under that it put me through depression that I'm still going through, anxieties that I'm still going through. It took me fully under. And I was like, holy shit, here I am with this business and these clients that I need to show up for, and I'm crumbling in bed. How am I gonna survive? How am I gonna do this? 30 days in, I don't want to just fall flat, right? You don't want to start something and then before you even really start it, you're out, right? Because there's personal shit going on in the background and your clients don't care. They just paid you to show up and serve them. They don't care that you've got personal stuff going on in the background. So fast forward, so here I am in November going through this crippling stage in my life, trying to show up and serve my clients. And then 3-4 months later, here's March 2021, and I find out I'm pregnant with my second child, where we haven't gotten pregnant in 7 years. So that was kind of like, holy hell. Like, I was not expecting me to get pregnant. Now I have to have this business that is we were now around that 6-month mark, making the 10K. How am I going to sustain this business and scale this business and bring a new life in? How am I going to rest and let myself go through this pregnancy and not like ultimately lose this child because I'm so head deep in stress because remember, November, trauma hit, and here I am crippling, crying in bed every minute of the day. Here I am with clients on the other end, and it was just like this crazy imbalance, and it didn't make sense why my business was still so successful. But I thank God that it was, because it kept me afloat. It kept me out of bed. And then guess what, you guys? We had my daughter in November, and I realized what I have been doing in my business, I can't really keep doing this with a newborn, right? You want to be able to keep that income level, but you realize at that income level, there's a ton of demands. You have clients around the clock. You have retainers and obligations to fulfill. But here I am with a newborn thinking that I could just be this person that didn't make any type of pause or interruptions. I was wrong. I was wrong. No nanny in place, quickly got 2 nannies in place. And I felt like, how am I going to keep the success in my business that I need to keep? Guess what, you guys? 2 months later, I find out I'm pregnant again. So here we are with a 3rd baby on the way. We're gonna have 2 kids under the age of 1. And here I am with this business that I'm like, holy hell, we need to make sure that there are systems, there's scalability, there's all these things in place so that I don't have to give this up. Like, this is like my dream. I worked so hard for this. I scaled it so much already. Like, just because I have now all these babies coming out of me, like, we don't want to lose momentum. So I say all of that to you because I want you to understand that no matter what's going on in your personal life, this business can come through for you. I don't care if you've got 10 kids, full-time job, all the things, everything that I'm going to be teaching you and having you implement are things that are going to support your life. They're not going to stress out your life, because in this time, in this period with myself, in my business, I feel like I've hit every stressor. I've hit every level of crying, whether it's been happy tears for celebrating the 10K months or sad tears because my assistant of 12 hours a week stole clients, $20,000 in retainers. Yes. Like, I feel like I've done all the trials and errors that now I can provide such an impact and knowledge to you so that you don't have to go through that and you can scale your business in a way that is not going to stress you the hell out. Because when you're a virtual assistant, when you're a service provider, it can spiral out of control in the most beautiful way, but you're going to be on the other end of that screen feeling so trapped if you don't take control of your time, of your boundaries, and have all of the things. So I'm just gonna check out the comments real quick. All of the emojis, the craziness, it's been fucking wild. Again, I'm sorry if there's kids around, but that's just the truth of the matter. It has been wild, and I love my business. I thank my business. I thank my trauma. I'm getting on the other end where I'm like, you know what? If it wasn't for all of these things happening at once, I probably wouldn't know all of these things to be putting into place for my business, right? So we're gonna get into the actual masterclass, and I'll probably weave some of these little nuggets in there. But the first part that I wanna talk about is just having a bulletproof mindset, like legit. I know mindset coaching, like I've been in this online business space, let's include my network marketing time, for 9 years. For about 9 years. And everything always starts with mindset. And I was a person that would blow it off. So what? Whatever. I don't care. I want the money. I don't care about the mindset. Like, anyone can outwork a bad mindset. And that is total BS. It's not true. You need to be ready for whatever is going to come your way and have such a bulletproof mindset that you can embrace the suck because things do suck and you have to realize that they suck. But then you have to realize, you know what? This is a lesson. This is teaching me. So when I had that assistant that all of a sudden stole my clients out from underneath of me, how was I going to take this lesson? Okay, get a better contract in place, right? Like, there's so many lessons to be learned, but you need to have the mindset to know, all right, this is going to get crazy. This is going to be painful at some point, but where can we embrace this pain? Where can we take this hurdle? I've had a client fire me Truthfully, I've had a client fire me and I sat in my car for 10 minutes and cried, because when you are a service provider and you're a virtual assistant and you are doing this type of work, there's a type of pride and a joy, and it's pretty personal because it's what you are providing. It's not like a network marketing business and, oh, I didn't like that weight loss, so I'm gonna go return it. That's not on you. You didn't formulate that weight loss product. Who cares? But when you're producing such creative work for a client and they fire you, that can be like a gut punch. So how are you going to take that gut punch and enjoy the suck, because it does suck and you have to go through it for a minute, but how can you turn that around and go and do it better the next time? Okay, long story short, on that client that fired me, she hired me back 2 months later and apologized because it wasn't actually me. So again, I will say that there are so many things that like you just feel like are on you as a virtual assistant and a service provider, and you will feel like quitting, and you will feel like, oh my gosh, this client is a pain in the ass, what is going on? But there's so many elements at play that it's not always just you, okay? So you need to understand, how can you receive feedback? How can you receive feedback in a way that is going to help you and shape you and mold you so that the next client you have, you do better with, right? And then the next client is going even better. And then you have such a professionalism about yourself that if someone's like, oh, Katie, I did not like that graphic that you just posted, like take that shit down quickly. You'll be like, oh my gosh, no big deal. Instead of being like, why didn't she like the graphic? Like, there's so many crazy things that are at play as service providers that I don't feel like any other business has to deal with. So you really need to equip yourself with a mindset that is ready to just take the bullet and then let it bounce right off of you. Okay, it's bound to happen. You cannot avoid it. And I think a lot of people, the minute that there is some type of hindrance in the business or some type of negative feedback in their business, they're so ready to be done and fed up. And it's like, no, take that feedback, take whatever that was, and do it better the next time. Okay, do it better the next time. Maybe the client had some misunderstanding and you were showing up in a certain way and they didn't think that was the best way, and now you guys aren't a good fit, and it's like, oh, well, I lost another client. Like, what am I gonna do now? You're gonna get back up and you're gonna go find another client who's actually more aligned with you, okay? So that's the first part that I wanna talk about, just getting off on that tangent about your mindset. It has to be bulletproof in this industry, because you could take things so personally at the drop of a dime, but it's not actually that personal, okay? It's not actually that personal. So again, let me just spot check the comments, because I'm going to just be ripping off all of this knowledge and I'm going to ignore the comments before I lose my train of thought. But let me just check in real quick. If you become invested in your work, it's so true, so true. And we're going to talk about the types of services, and in every single one, well, maybe one more than the other. I'm looking at my notes over here. But in every single type of service, again, it's you putting the work in behind it. It's your work. You're gonna take pride in your work, or else you wouldn't be doing what you're doing. So the minute that someone doesn't like it, you take it personally. Understandable. We're humans. We want everyone to like what we do, which is reminding me of how much I have learned through this business that I am a people pleaser. Holy shit, I'm a people pleaser. I never thought I was. I always thought I was that person that was like, whatever someone thinks about me, that's on them. I know what I am and it doesn't matter, things like that. But when I got into this business, holy hell, it was different. So we're going to talk about the types of services and knowing what you want to offer. So if you are currently a service provider or a virtual assistant at any capacity, drop in the comments what it is that you provide. I would love to know, because I know when people were joining this group, there were different service providers, graphic designers, admins, like there were different services. So I would love to know who is doing what currently, and we're going to get into the second part. So of course, being a service provider, you have to know what you're going to offer. You can't just say, I'm going to offer anything and everything. That's not going to serve you too well. You can't just go into these Facebook groups and see, oh, I'm looking for social media manager and be like, I need that job, right? Because you need the income, you're going to say, oh, I'll take that job. Or I need a funnel specialist. Oh, I'll take that job. Or, oh, I need someone to transcribe stuff. Like, oh, I'll take that job, right? Like, we as service providers, in the beginning at least, I know for myself this was so true. In the beginning, it's like you want anyone and everyone because you want to prove your worth, build up your testimonials, you want to get that income because that's why you're here. 90% of the time we're here because we want the income and we want the freedom that the income provides. So we take on anything and everything, but that's not good. Okay, that's not good. You really need to hone in what it is that you're going to offer and only look for positions in that. And I have always been someone that has told clients when they ask me, hey, Katie, do you do ads? Hell no, I don't. Do I know how to go be resourceful and go learn? I absolutely do. Could I go increase my revenue and like take on ad work now? Absolutely could. Do I want to? Absolutely not. It's not my specialty. It's not something I've done before. So I tell my clients and I tell people who reach out to me straight up, I am not an ads person. I'll be honest. And they appreciate that so much more than if you were to go and say, all right, well, sure, I run ads, even though you've never ran an ad a day in your life. I will tell you, I am all self-taught when it comes to my business. Aside from like taking on courses that you all have probably seen, right? When there's like, all right, Instagram, learn how to rock on Instagram, learn how to rock out in Facebook groups. Like, I have invested a shit ton of money in all of those aspects, but I don't have a degree, I don't have a certification, I didn't do anything official like people would probably say like you need to have, and I'm pretty self-taught. So if someone's like, hey Katie, can you take on some ad work? The Katie brain would be like, heck yeah, I can, because I can go learn that and I can go master that because that's just my nature. And I'm very savvy at things like that. But I'm not going to do that because I have boundaries in place. I know what I'm here to offer. I know how I offer my services, and adding in things just to make sure I have that income is not something that I want to do, and it's not something that I'm ever going to advise you to do. So we actually are launching a course called Serve It Up. You're going to hear more about it later today. It's going to help you to really define what services you can offer. How can you dig deep and already have a service like nestled in your inner being that you can offer without having to be like, oh, I need to go learn this, or oh, I need to go get this certification, because it's completely not true, right? If you've been following me, you see that I have moved into this beautiful office space because, again, it's been very crippling the last 2 years. Like, literally working out of my bed when you're already trying to go through a healing process is not for anybody. So I had to get myself up and out of the house, out of the distractions of a baby crying, and into this office space. And I told my husband, I was like, now that I'm in an office space with like executives and all of these like head honchos of things, like I should probably go get a certification because I want to start doing in-person consultations. Like, I want people to be coming here, we can talk about their brand, we can help them on their social media accounts, all the things. And then the minute that I sent the text, I was like, hell no. Like, I don't want to do that. That's not me, it's not what I believe in, it's not what I've needed to get me here, and it's not what I need to get me there. So again, you don't need all these credentials and all of this like business degrees. I do graphic design. I'm not a graphic designer. I don't use Photoshop. I could learn Photoshop, but I don't want to learn Photoshop. Like, you need to understand what are you striving at? Where are your deal breakers? Where are your boundaries? Okay, so in my notes I have, you need to have boundaries around your services before you end up signing up for something that you did not want to sign up for. Because again, as virtual assistants, we want the income, we want the clients, we want the testimonials. So here we are, we have a client asking us for engagement work, but all of a sudden they're like, hey, can I give you this task? Hey, can you do this? hey, can you do that? And it's like, well, sure I can. Sure I can. You're already a client. I want to keep you happy. Let's do all of the things. And then it's like, no. Your boundaries are getting overstepped. You're going to end up getting stressed. You're going to say yes. You're going to be a yes person like I was. And then you're not going to be happy, or you're going to make a lot of mistakes and the client is not going to be happy. So when you're thinking about the services that you want to offer, seriously, dig deep. Dig into yourself. Do not look at what I'm doing. Do not look at the Instagram world. Seriously, when I started, this is why I knew that not that I knew, but this is when I was saying earlier in the broadcast that I didn't really want to be a virtual assistant because no one that I could find was doing the things that I wanted to do. I didn't need to go searching. I didn't need to go looking on Instagram. I would go search virtual assistant. I would look up their bios. I would go click on their links, and I would look at their packages, and I'm like, I don't want to offer that. I don't want to offer that. I don't want to make that. There was all these things that I didn't want to do. So don't do that. Don't base your business services off of someone else's services, because all you're doing is you're adopting their limiting beliefs, you're adopting all of the things that they're doing, and it's not you, and it's going to show up and not in a good way. Okay, so let me again check these comments. I feel called out just saying yes because they're already a client. It's so easy. It's so easy to do. You want to, it's okay. So we already know it's so easy to keep clients vice getting new clients. So when you have that client, you want to do anything and everything to keep them happy. And let's say they hired you to do content. Let's say they hired you to post 5 days a week for the whole month, and that's their monthly thing, right? If you're posting for them 5 days a week, only post for them 5 days a week. Don't go and say, oh yeah, I can tap into your emails and help you with that too, unless you're going to charge them for it. I can't tell you. I could probably be surpassed 200 something thousand if I billed for all the things that I said I would just go ahead and handle. Don't do that. Again, it's going to stress you the hell out. You're going to show up feeling like, am I appreciated? Here I am, I'm doing all this stuff for you because you're already my client, I want to keep you happy, but do you even appreciate me? And all you're ultimately doing is you're teaching your clients how to treat you. And if they learn that they can do that once with you, they're going to do it again and again and again and again. So I will tell you that when my second daughter came in November, I had to have a heart-to-heart with some clients. I had to say, hey, I either am not going to keep doing this type of work anymore, or hey, I haven't been charging for this anymore, and I'm going to have to start. And that caused so much anxiety in me. Again, I ran to my husband. I was so stressed out. I was in tears. I was thinking about all these scenarios in my head that were going to go wrong, that I was going to tell these clients, hey, my boundaries have been overstepped. I have been going on X amount of months doing something for you and never tracking my time and never billing you on it. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to change that. I'm going to have to restructure how I do things. And that caused me such an anxiety of holy shit, I'm about to lose this client. They're not going to want to stay with me. They're going to go find someone else that they can probably go pay cheaper for. But guess what? I made up all these stories in my head. The clients, every single one of them came back and said, Katie, I always expected you to invoice me. I never thought that this was just going to be free type of thing. So again, keep control of your boundaries, keep open lines of communications with your clients, and don't make up stories in your head. Don't cause more stress than it needs to actually be, okay? So spot check the comments. Yeah, it is so crazy to just want to do all the things for all the people, and you just want to prove yourself. You want to be, everyone wants to be liked, right? Everyone wants to have raving clients, so why rock the boat? Why shake things up? Okay, I still do this as I'm trying to rebrand and change direction. I will say I'm grateful I got it out and get experience. Yes, and that's why I don't look at anything that I've done over the past year as, oh, I can't believe I did that. Like when my assistant stole almost $20,000 in retainers, it was a huge lesson learned. I was so thankful that it happened within year 1, not in year 5, right? Like so many things were coming up. So I went from doing social media to doing a wedding for a client, and I'm kind of glad I did because I love it and I want to do more of it. You never know. So again, you never know what you can step into, but you have to totally honor yourself and honor where you're currently at. And if you're like, you know what, this is overstepping my boundaries, lay that boundary down. Or if you're like, you know what, I know this might be crossing my boundaries a little bit, but I'm a little bit open to this experience, then that is fine too. But again, goes back to part 1, having that bulletproof mindset to know that you are ready to withstand anything, any direction that you're about to go in. So 3 of the services that I did just want to touch on real quickly, and again, we're going to go really deep into this inside of my course, Serve It Up. That's going to be going live June 27th. So it's a 7-day course. I will drop all the details for you guys, so if you want to get into that, you totally can. So the three services that I commonly see, and the ones that I personally offer, are admin services, which that's like the catch-all of catch-alls. Like I always say, if there's anything around someone's business online, if you have an online business, we can do it. Sometimes that's good, sometimes it's a double-edged sword. But there's admin services, there's creative services, right? So again, I do a lot of graphic design, I do a lot of creative work, but I will tell you, when you do that creative work, and then my third one is marketing services, so what I'm about to tell you is going to go hand in hand with creative services and marketing services. Do not let your clients lean so much on you that you're the one ultimately building their business. Okay? I can't tell you how many times I've had a client who I've done content for, who they're literally like looking for me for the strategy. Yes, I know I can do it. Yes, I know I can do the funnels and the strategies and like all the things to put them into place, but that's not what you hired me for. That's a whole nother check, right? You hired me to design, or you hired me to implement. You hired me to implement what you want me to implement. I'm not here to say, hey, I will implement this and this is how I'm going to do it, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so again, don't let the lines get blurred. Otherwise, you're in another level and you need to charge for that, okay? It's totally fine to do that if you want to provide the strategy behind the content work. If you're a content strategist, you can totally do that, but you have to know what is it you're offering, how are you going to offer it, and what are the levels of the income that you want to offer it for, okay? So if you're just posting, great. But if you are creating the post, that's something else. That's another element. If you're creating all of the systems behind the post and all of the brain work behind, okay, this post is going to equal this result and get this client this revenue, that's a whole nother level, okay? You can totally be done as a service provider, but the problem is service providers are taking on work, but doing it at a way higher level and wondering why they're not getting compensated for it, okay? And you got to bridge that gap, okay? All right, okay. All right, I told you I learned that the hard way, had to learn the boundaries. Yes. I'm here to assist, not run your business and come up with all the details. Yes, especially with what I do, because I'm a brand manager, is what I call for myself as the virtual assistant side of my business is the brand manager, but I'm also a brand strategist, right? So people can, like you guys can come to me for the actual strategy, like all of the elements to actually have a business that scales. And the lines were getting so blurred with clients where it's like they're coming to me for the strategy and the implementation. Like you're either going to pay me for both or we're just going to do one lane, okay? And all of that really comes out in how you communicate. Okay, so that is so crucial. Again, we're going to cover that inside the Serve It Up course. That way you can communicate effectively, you can hear what the client wants, and then you can cater to that, okay? So you'll probably see in my business that there's not much in like the packaging world, because I like to know what is it that this person wants, and if they aren't specific enough, I make them get specific. I'm not going to fill in the blanks for you, okay? We're not going to do that. Okay, part 3. Are you ready? Are you guys loving this so far? Let me know. If this is being helpful for you, I want to know that in the comments, because again, I do not want to be giving you anything you either already know or that isn't helpful. I'm here to help. I'm here to help you bridge this gap between feeling like you are just making pennies to making 10K months, okay? And all of these parts tie into you making the big bucks, right? Because you don't want to be hired for content at like $100 a month when you should be making $1,000 a month, because here you are doing the whole strategy and the whole posting and the sequence and all of the things, right? Okay, so strengthening your skill sets is this is 5, so we're going to take this hand down, is part 3. Strengthening your skill sets is part 3, okay? So I saw in the comments, like, you wanted to do the social media work, but then you ended up doing stuff as for a wedding, for a client, and that is in my notes. You're going to learn so much in real time. You don't need these credentials. You don't need to go out there and feel like you have to go and get a degree from a school just to learn. Like, you can learn so much in real time by just taking action that your skill sets will grow. So you take one client, you work with that one client, boom, your skill set is already up a notch. So when you get that second client, what are you going to do? You're going to raise your rates, you have more experience, and it's going to keep growing and compounding from that. You're not going to start year 1 with one client and have, let's say, 10 clients that whole year, and then here comes year 2 serving at the same capacity. You have a whole year under your belt. You have a whole 10 clients under your belt. So why are we still charging what we started at? No, when I got started, I don't even know how much I charged, but I know by the first month I raised it, by the second month I raised it, and every month I've raised it, okay? So that's part of how you are going to grow in your income to getting to 10K months, is by not staying at the same level. Don't let people hire you at the same rates. Each client is another step in the rate chain. I don't even know what that is, but each client is going to help you raise your rates, okay? So we already talked about this, is saying no to skill sets that you just don't either want to have or that you don't already meet, and that's totally fine. I don't advise anyone to take on any work that they've never done before. Like, for me, I would never do ads. I know I can learn it, but it's going to take time. I don't have the time. We're not going to do it. And then you also need to understand that you can decline clients. You can decline work. And as much as that sounds like not very productive, here we are trying to get to 10K months. Why would I decline having a client? Because the minute that you take on a client that is not aligned, that is not within your wheelhouse, that is not going to empower you to show up as the best you're not going to get to 10K months, because you're drained at like $2,000. You're drained with this misaligned client that is taking and depleting you, and you knew that there was red flags, but you've got this retainer and this commitment that now you can't even scale to 10K because you are stuck at this level with this individual that you knew there was red flags for, and now your energy and your creativity, like all the things are just depleted. So please, decline. When you know in your heart and in your soul that this may not be the best match, that things might be a little tricky, don't do it. I did not do the best with this. I had, oh my gosh, there was a referral. So you know when you get referrals, you feel a little bit more obligated because you want to make both parties happy, right? You were referred, so you want to make that person that referred you happy, and then you have the individual that was referred to you, you want to make them happy. So I had a situation like this. They were very close, and it was this councilwoman, very high level. She had told me that if she had won a certain something, that she was going to want to raise my position. I would ultimately start traveling with her and doing all these crazy like assistant things. But I knew that level of work was going to cap me at what I was doing. I would only be able to work for her. I don't want to do that. I want to be able to serve and grow and do all these other amazing things in my business. I knew that the growth with her was going to hinder my growth, and that was not okay. Okay, so that's situation number one. I also had another client who hired me for 20 hours a month in the beginning. This was like within my first 3 months. 20 hours a month, and she loved what I was doing, so she wanted to make me even more full-time and put me at 20 hours a week. But in order to do that, she wanted me to not take on other clients. I definitely did both. People pleaser Katie was in the mix. I took her offer and said, I will do it 20 hours a week, you got it. I also kept taking other clients, even though she said, I don't want you taking other clients. Because I knew in my heart of hearts that I want to be growing my business. I didn't want to just work for one person. That's not what I was getting into this business for. So I got super stressed out. My time was depleted. It was not an okay working environment. What else happened with her? Oh, she not only wanted me to work 20 hours a week, she wanted me to work within the time that she told me to work. So here I was saying, yes, I was committed to this 20 hours a week. And then by month 2 doing that, she said, all right, can you do these time frames? I said, yes. I shouldn't have said yes. We don't work together anymore because, again, it put a cap on myself and my creative work and my abilities and what I wanted to do. And that's not fair for you. It's not fair for the clients. It's not fair for anyone all around. And I'm all about making sure everyone is at a win-win situation. So I want you to really understand that your skill sets are valuable, and I don't want you to feel like you have to take on clients just to take on clients. I want you to know that you can decline things that ultimately are not going to align with your goals. If you want to find that one solid full-time position, fabulous, freaking do it. But if you know that you want to be able to offer certain things and scale certain ways, you're not going to be able to just confine yourself to one client. I hope that makes sense. I see it so many times. I see positions, I see emails, I see we're hiring full-time here, full-time there. And I'm like, damn, that would be a great salary. Like, that would be amazing. But what is that going to do for me in the long run? Not just for the moment, okay? So, spot check these comments. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I saw some underpricing. I'm learning I've been underpricing so much. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Nope, we are here for freedom. You said it, Chas. That's exactly what we're here for. It's tough. I personally usually work in the wee hours of the night and of the early morning. Okay, so I'm going to get to that also. We can touch on that now, actually, because it's going to go into, hey, Amy, it is okay. I'm glad you're here. You can totally catch the replay. It's not going anywhere. So I want to talk to you about another course that I'm rolling out called the MVP of VIP Days, okay? So and then I'm going to talk about another one in my next part. You guys, I have so much good shit coming out that I just cannot hold it in. And it's all about what you guys are literally saying right now. You're here for the freedom. You're underpricing. You are working in the wee hours in the early mornings. That, I get it. I do it too. I do it too. And that's why I show up and I'm telling you guys what I'm telling you. It's because it's not that I've read it in like another course and here I am regurgitating stuff. It's because I've literally lived it, breathed it, up at 2 a.m., up at 4 a.m. Like, here I am, like, working Monday through Friday, but because I didn't do some stuff, I'm going to catch up on Saturday and Sunday, because on Monday, I want to just be like, boom, here's all your work I owed you. It happens. Every single person's going to fall victim to it, but there are so many ways that you can actually structure your business to scale. That you don't have to work in the wee hours anymore. You don't have to stress out. You don't have to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm playing catch up all the time. No shit, you guys. It sucks. It really sucks. I know how many times I've done it. I have my laptop actually right here. I have my new computer, but I have my laptop still handy because there's things that I'm still like moving around. But I kid you not, there have been so many times where I run with my laptop to the bathroom And then I run back to my living room to go work. And then I run over here and I run over there because I feel like I'm constantly having to do something for someone at every single freaking minute. And that is going to suck the living life out of you. Okay? Do not fall into that trap. So I want to really talk to you guys about how to get to these 10K months without feeling like you have to have 30 clients or without feeling like you have to do hourly retainers. I am done with the hourly retainers, you guys. Like I'm done. Like when my daughter came into the mix in November, that's when I knew, like I already knew where my business was going to be restructured, but she just made it like even more time claps, like we need to do this now. And I have restructured all of my business so that it's strictly scheduled base. If you can't fit on my schedule, I can't fit you in. Like, I'm so sorry. And you might have seen it in this post in one of my stories, and I posted it in here as well because I wanted to stay live, not just in a story for 24 hours, but you guys, if you have a family, if you have a life, if you have anything you want to be doing other than holding screens up all day long, you need to get some boundaries, and you need to ultimately know, how am I going to thrive with these skill sets, but in a way that's scalable and is not going to be stressed at all. Like that is what the freaking name of the game is. I do not offer any hourly things anymore. I have people who I see it in the groups all the time, and this is something that we talk about in one of my courses, is how to actually find the clients. But when you find them, there are so many people that are just so used to hiring people on an hourly basis that they're so trained in that. So when they post and they're like, hey, I need a social media person for 20 hours a month. That makes me freaking cringe. And if it is someone that I feel called to reach out to and to pitch myself for, I will quickly tell them, I do not do these on an hourly basis. Can you tell me what is the volume? What is the volume of your social media managing that you need, right? Do you need me in your DMs? Do you need me posting? Do you need me doing this? Do you need me doing that? I don't want to schedule my time because I'm not exchanging time for money. I mean, you kind of always are. You always have to be doing something to get the money, right? Like even if this video is going to sell like $1,000 course and I can keep this video up for years to come, it still took me an hour and a half to do this video. It still took me time, right? So no matter what, you're always going to be exchanging time for money. But what you don't want to do is say, all right, I've got this 20 hours a week. I've got this client 10 hours a week. I've got this client 5 hours a week. You know what you're doing? You're compounding all of these hours, and you're going to be like me. You're running from the bathroom, running from here, running from there, and then you're going to flatline. Okay? So MVP of VIP Days is coming out, and I cannot wait because it's going to help you to take your skill set and to charge it at a minimum of 4 figures, minimum, okay? That is like why VIP Days are so important, is because you are delivering a service that is done in a day. Like, what business owner does not want their shit done in a day? Like, no one wants things to linger. No one wants things to be going back and forth and all these crazy things. So when you offer these VIP type of services, people will pay you 4 figures minimum to provide that to them, okay? So you just need to be able to say, hey, this is what I offer, this is how I offer it, this is what I offer it for, okay? So when I stepped away from these hourly type of packages, it's because I know that over this last year, I've gotten way better. What takes me 10 hours takes me probably 2 now. So it's not fair for me or the client for me to say, all right, I'm gonna charge you 10 hours up front. It's not fair for me to charge you 10 hours up front, and then here I am only working 2 hours, and then I gotta either owe you that hours next month, or I'm not gonna get paid the next month because I'm trying to make up those hours, or I gotta refund that money. Like, no one wants to do that. And you don't want to be on the flip side of that either, saying, hey, it's only gonna take me 2 hours, so let me charge you for 2 hours, and then, oh shit, it took me 5, so now I gotta charge you my overtime rate. Like, it's not fun for anybody to have to deal with that conversation. So I get away from the hourly type of pricing, although I take that into account with my prices. But I don't say, hey, for 20 hours, it's this. No, I'm a per project only. me check these comments. No more hourly. Yes, yes, yes. Do they pay? They do not pay. Okay, so it's kind of two parts. I don't do the work without getting paid, so they are paying in advance, but I never tell someone, hey, you need to work with me a minimum of 3 months, and then you got to pay me for those 3 months. I feel like in my soul of souls, like that just doesn't align with myself. I never want to force someone to work with me, and every time I've kind of explained that, sorry, I'm jumping over here to these notes. Every time I've explained that, the client has appreciated it that much more, because there's so many service providers out there that'll be like, all right, we're going to do a trial for 2 weeks and then we are locking you in for 6 months. Like, no, I don't want to lock anybody in. I want them to really want to work with me or not. Like, we're not going to do that. So I base things off of the volume of the project, or they fit into a VIP day package. Yeah, learning the right pricing for your packages will be so important, but coming up with that pricing is a kind of a weaving of factors. So we will totally get into that. So let's get into part 4, because I can't believe it. You know what? I was so nervous that we were going to be like, we're only going to be 30 minutes. Heck no, we got all this good stuff coming through. I'm so glad. All right. So packaging yourself. How do you want to offer your services? So we talked about having your skill sets and knowing what types of services that there are. There's admin services, creative services, marketing services, and I really feel like a lot of those go into one of those 3 categories, although there are totally every other type of service provider out there. I mean, if you're in like the financial realm, you're a bookkeeper, that's a type of service. There's so many services, and we're going to talk about it in the Serve It Up course, all the different types of services that are out there, because you may not even realize, holy shit, I'm good at this, and I didn't even know this is something that someone would pay me for. Totally is. So you need to understand, how do you want to offer your services? And we've kind of touched on that with the hourly, the package, the per project, the retainers. You can totally do what you feel called for. So I'm going to always teach you through my lessons, through what works for me, what's best to be scalable, what's best for being scalable and getting you to the 10K months, but it's never going to work if you're not aligned. I will never tell you to do something that is going against your DNA. Like, if it's going to make you cringe, don't do it. Let's find another way. That's why I'm a strategist. I can always see a different way to whatever it is you're offering, because every individual is different. Just because I have been sitting in my business going through so much freaking trauma with a baby on the way and then another baby popped out, like, you might not have the same situation. So you may need a whole different type of offering and packaging for yourself. So that's why it is so important to line yourself up with someone like myself who can really help and tap into seeing the process like 5 steps ahead. Because I know so many people, they just want it for right now. They want to package themselves to get hired for right now. But what is that 5 steps ahead, so that you can not be stressed, so that you can be scaling, so you can be doing all of these things that you want to do, okay? So there are, like I said, there's the hourly packages, there's the per project packages, or there's those retainers where you can get that commitment that if you want that commitment in your clients to say, hey, I know I've got you locked in for 3 months, so be it. For me, that is not, I'm good with saying you either want to work with me or you don't. If someone I do things on a monthly basis, so I wouldn't be like, let's say I have a client who I post their content. I'm not going to just post your content for 1 week. No, I'm either saying, hey, is this like for a launch? Is this for ongoing? If it's ongoing, that's fine. But you're going to pay me for the volume of that service, not for how long it takes me to provide that service. Because again, it might take me 5 hours 1 month, but the next month it might only take me 2. Okay, so you want to really take into account what are those things that you are going to be providing, how quickly are you going to be providing them, all of that good stuff, okay? And then I also, when you think about pricing, don't forget your business expenses. There's no way if you're, let's say you're charging hourly, there's so many people that will be like, I'll charge $10 an hour. I got myself up to $40 an hour before I stopped doing the hourly rate. But you have to take into account that you gotta owe some taxes, right? Like no one thinks about all of the business expenses that are going to be coming into play. So you want to make sure you're pricing yourself accordingly. That way you can pay for these other things and still have a profit, right? Who wants to deplete their energy working 20 hours for someone a week and then you've paid out all these freaking taxes and you didn't even pay yourself, right? Like I always want to pay myself first. So I just want you guys to just be aware of these things because you don't really become aware of them until after the fact. And that's how I felt. It's not been a catch up phase for me. Like we're always trying to catch up. It's been like, all right, now we got to adjust. Now we got to adjust. Now we got to adjust. But that's why I'm beaming with all of this knowledge and I'm ready to give it to you guys because I don't want you to keep adjusting. I want you to just no. I want you to go out there full force, full confidence and show up, serve, do the damn job and have fun doing it without feeling like, oh my gosh, I have to do it. Like no one wants to feel like they have to work. You want to get to a point where you want to work. You want to be excited for your clients to ping you. You don't want to be like, what are they going to say now? I don't know. I don't really want to do that. Because we've all been there, okay? So again, I have talked about the Serve It Up course, which I will drop the link for. After we have the Serve It Up course, we're gonna be rolling into the MVP of VIP days, and then we're gonna talk about how you can be scheduled to serve, okay? So that's another course that I'm rolling out. It's really so that you don't have to be doing these hourly packages. You don't have to be doing these like ongoing retainers that are already demanding of you before you even actually do anything, right? So there's a course called Scheduled to Serve that is coming on out for you, all right? So let's get into part 5. This is the last part, and it is all about marketing your business, right? So we had to get the mindset right. That was the first part. We got to know what we're going to serve. We got to know what skill sets we have so that we can serve, and then we have to know how to package those services. But then we gotta market them, right? We gotta market things so that people know that you are the one to go to. You're the go-to person. You need to show up. As we know, I had someone that was coming into this video and she was like, do I have to do lives? Like if I want to become a virtual assistant, do I have to do live videos? Absolutely not. That's not what I mean by market your business. If you feel called to, then freaking do it. This is probably the first live that I've done. I mean, I did do a collaboration live a month or two ago, but I haven't done videos in so freaking long. Like when I was in direct sales and network marketing, I remember doing stories after stories, face to camera, talk, all the things. I can't remember the last time I did that. I can't remember the last time I recorded a story and was like talking through in the stories. Either it's like a picture or a boomerang or something, but it's because I'm so freaking busy that I just haven't needed to do it. Like I don't need to do that. So I don't want you to feel like you have to show up in these ways that don't feel authentic and aligned to you. That is literally the name of the game. You're going to grow your business to 10K months when you're aligned and authentic to it, not when you're forcing it, okay? Now, I do have in my notes that you're gonna wanna get onto 1 or 2 platforms, but we're gonna help you. We have a whole 4 courses coming out around marketing your business, and we're going to tell you like where to find the clients, what platforms to capitalize on. But I can tell you right now, I wasn't going to tell you, but groups are a freaking gold mine. I'm not going to lie. Groups are crazy, but you have to get into the right groups, okay? You don't want to be in these, I don't want to say bottom of the barrel, but you don't want to get into these low vibed groups to where the clients that are needing to pay for the skill sets that you have, there's people in there looking for virtual assistants at $2 an hour. Like, come on. Come on, you're not that person. You need to hold yourself to a way higher standard. You need to call in an income that's going to get you the 10K months, and it's not at $2 an hour, it's not at $10 an hour, it's not at a $100 retainer. No, it's at 4-figure retainers and up, okay? And that's going to be from working with what? Who knows? Who knows? What do you need to work with to get the 4-figure retainer checks, all the things? Okay, it's crazy to think like this, but when you hear it, you're gonna be like, I knew that, but you really aren't implementing things like that. Okay, you need to work with brands and businesses that already have revenue. Like we want to rescue people all the freaking time, and we want to see people succeed, which is great, and that's in everyone's human nature. Well, most human natures, but you don't ultimately want to work with a business that has no income coming in to even pay you. You don't want to be doing favors. You don't want to be working with someone who's only making $500 a month and here they are going to give you $100. No, you want to work with 6 and 7 figure brands if you want to be making 5 figures a month, 6 figures a year. You really need to make sure you're aligning yourself with those businesses. And you can do it from day one, I promise you. Like I said, the coach that I had hired for $3,000 turned around and hired me as her virtual assistant. It catapulted my business, not because of her and what she did. She actually referred me to that councilwoman who I actually was like, red flags, no. But because I was very vigilant and I was seeing where she was and who she was intermingling with, I knew how I could then market myself to people who were literally buying a course for $20,000+. I knew if someone could buy a course for $20,000+, they could pay me $1,000 a month, right? Like if they're going to be paying that much money, they can pay me that much money. Okay, so stop aligning yourself with people who are just trying to get started. They're just trying to get out there. You need to find people who are there. Okay, it says I need to check my internet. Am I okay? Can you guys hear me? All right. I see the comments still coming, so I guess my internet's okay. Maybe it was like from forever ago. But all right. So getting intentional on social media, that's in my notes. Yes, you guys got to be at this higher level mindset. Even if you've never had a client before, you can totally get in this high level brand world, okay? All right. So you need to get on social media, get intentional. You want to find 3 to 5 people that you can offer your services to. If you're just starting out, who are those 3 to 5 people that you know are already getting some profit, getting revenue that you can serve, okay? I know a lot of people that are just coming out of like this network marketing fog. I don't want to call it a cult. I might go back to network marketing one day. I don't know. I love it. I see the vision. I get it. But I feel like after getting out of it that I was just so brainwashed for so long, thinking that that was the only way to make money when it isn't. But I can tell you right now that I know so many high-level network marketers who have these huge organizations that I could be like, you know what? I know how much you make. And I wouldn't say this to them, but in my mind, I know how much you make. I know the volume of your business. And now I know how I can help you in your business. Who are those 3 people that maybe you know and that you can go offer those services to, right? A network marketing team's like, people get into network marketing for the freedom, right? So once they get a huge organization, you know how many times their phone is ping, 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 like all day long. How can you step in and help them? How can you take something off their plate? How can you go in and serve them? Okay, that's what I want to really help you, because I know you guys want to walk away with getting those 10K months from this masterclass. So I'm giving you these little nuggets and these little ideas to go and just be a little more open to those people that you can serve. Stop waiting for people to come to you, because it's not going to happen. I have it right here in my notes. You will not see a ton of people in your inbox. It doesn't happen that way. For me, it comes in waves in a sense, but that becomes, that's something from referrals, which again, I will be teaching through one of my courses and my master classes. We'll talk about that in a minute, but it comes in waves. I'll get at one point I had 7 discovery calls booked, but the next month I had none. But where did those 7 come from? They came from me showcasing my work. So marketing your business is about getting on 1 or 2 platforms, showcasing your work, letting people actually know what it is you do, because they really don't pay attention. And if they look at your story one day, they don't remember it the next. So you need to stay out there. You need to stay showcasing your work. And I don't mean through live video, but just take a picture of your screen. If you don't have a client right now, you know how easy it is to act like you're working as a virtual assistant, even if it's not even for somebody. Just go create a graphic or go do whatever it is that you want to be offering and showcase it. Share it. Share it again and again and again and again and again until people realize, holy shit, that's what she does. I need that now. Okay? Hope this is helping you guys. That was my peeps I helped mostly. That was literally my target client when I first started. It seemed like a lot of the top network marketers I was working with wanted to have an assistant but didn't know what to do with one. Oh my gosh, absolutely. There's so, okay. Oops, I just scrolled too far. But there's like a twofolds to this that I've seen a shit ton. There are people who are like recovering assistants, people, like they've had bad VAs, and they're like, I'm scared to have another because that one sucked. And here you are trying to like put the puzzle pieces back together because someone had just like made this person have a bad taste for VAs, and here you are. Or they really want someone, but they don't know how to lean into that. So you're gonna need to help them. You are. I do it. There's a couple of people that I do it with all the time that are like, I'm so not used to having someone help me. Thank you. And it's like, lean into me. I'm here because of that. So you'll definitely find those people that are like, I need someone, but I don't know how I need someone or with what. Like, and then you might have to get into their business and be like, all right, I can help you here, and here. But you don't know that until you have the conversation. You got to have the conversation, okay? Which can be scary, but I will help you through it all, my friends. I will help you. All right, so we are, yeah, totally, you are their voice. There's been times where I've had someone hire me for specifically one thing. They knew they wanted more, but they didn't know how or what yet. So I told them, let me just start out doing this, and as I learn more about your business, as I see what you're doing, then I can help you to do X, Y, and Z. Like, then I can put your pieces to the puzzle together, and then I can present another service, and I can expand my income. Okay, so these are all going to be ways for you to get to the 10K months, but you gotta be open, and you gotta be looking, and you gotta be serving, you gotta be showcasing and doing all the things. There can be so many different things at play that, again, you want these waves of clients to where you're like, oh my gosh, where did they come from? Where did you come from? And then it might feel like, all right, no one's right now, but I'm happy, I'm good, I'm not stressed, I'm scaling in a way without feeling like you just had to take all the time away. Okay, so I want to just wrap up and talk to you guys about some things that I am offering so that you can continue working with me, because like I said, I'm not going to just teach you something because I learned it in a course and then boom, here you go, and I just regurgitate it to you. Like, these are things that I'm living, breathing, feeling, going through, molded in my own business. This is why I've had the success that I've had. This is why I work really only with 6 and 7 figure brands from the beginning. This is how I got to the 10K months, the 20K months, and it's just insane, okay? So the first thing that if you guys haven't seen is that I opened up the club, the Service Provider Club, where you can come hang out, you can network, you can learn from other service providers, and what's really cool is once a month we're going to be doing a Q&A, so you can submit 2 questions to me. We'll hop on a Q&A and I will answer your questions. It's going to be really fun. And then when you do sign up, you get a complimentary 15-minute idea call. So if you're like, I have this idea, but I don't know how to really implement it, like I don't know what to do, it's just kind of sitting in my brain, I gotta take some action somehow, but I don't know what action to take, then as soon as you sign up, you will get a little form that says, what's your idea? And then I'll be able to read that. That way I can take the full 15 minutes by helping you with implementing that idea, not like taking the 15 minutes and being like, so what's your idea? And now we only have 5 minutes to get down to like how to actually take action. No, you're gonna submit the idea, I'll come onto the call, I'll already have the strategy in place for you. Okay, so that is the Service Provider Club. If you want in on that, just let me know. You'll see it in the group as well. It is at a introductory, you know what I'm saying. It's at a special rate right now, but it will be increasing, and I promise you're gonna wanna get locked in at the rate that it's at right now. Then the masterclasses. You guys know this is my only free masterclass. I was so called to make sure that you guys could get in my energy, could hear me, could see me, could vibe with me for this hour and some change that we've been here together, and I have absolutely loved every minute of it. But I'll be honest. I told someone the other day my knowledge is not free, and I'm absolutely truthful and open and honest about that. I did not go through the trials, the errors, the tears, the moaning, the groaning, all the things just to give everything for free. Nor should you, right? We talked about that. You're not going to be overstepping your boundaries and having people just slide these tasks on into you without paying you for them, right? So the next master classes that I have, they ultimately will range from $99 all the way up to something. So what I can offer to you though is a masterclass pass, and you don't have to sign up for any of the masterclasses. You just sign up one time for $555 and you get every single masterclass that I come out with for the next 12 months. Okay, so I've already have it scheduled. I have all these juicy notes like all over the place. Let me see, because I said, I put it on my website, you'll get one masterclass guaranteed a month, and then I wrote down my schedule and there's like 2 masterclasses a month. So the pass is going to be very, very useful so that you don't have to be like $100 charge here, $200 charge here, $100 charge here, and you're way surpassed $555 when you can just get locked in for 12 months, get all the juicy things automatically, okay? Now, the next thing I want to talk about are the individual courses. You have heard me talk about Serve It Up, all the things. Those individual courses, you can totally snag what you want, what you don't want, take what you want, leave what you don't, all that kind of good stuff. So you can get those, and those all are going to be ranging from like $500 all the way up to $1,700. And I'm telling you that because you can have them all, just like the masterclass pass. You can have it all. If you don't want to just if you know you're going to need all of those courses that I'm going to be coming out with, you can go ahead, and I'm calling it the certification. So I know we said we don't need credentials, but I am certifying you as a service provider, getting you the service provider certification, and it's going to come with my 12 core courses, okay? So you can either get those courses individually, or you can lump them into the certification program, and when you get them in the certification program, you only have to pay the one price, or you can get it on the payment plan, but you don't have to pay the individual courses at the different rates that they're coming at. You'll just automatically get them. Oh, I almost forgot to say this. When you get into the certification aspect, you get all the individual courses, you get all of the master classes, you get the club, and you get critique calls as well. So those critique calls are going to be every 2 weeks where you can submit work to me. So maybe you're like, I want to offer these services, or I want to put this on my website, and you want someone to review it, right? You don't want to be walking blindly like I was, like thinking, oh, I think I'm doing this right, and then boom, I didn't have a contract in place, and then I got $20,000 stolen from me, right? Like, you want to have someone helping you to shape and mold your business. Then you're going to want to get into the service provider certification so that you can just have it all, and it's for 12 months, okay? So it's not just like a 1 month thing and it's like, oh cool. No, this is for a whole 12 months, okay? And then once you get done the certification, you can be an alumni, you can see all the different juicy job offers that are out there, or you can come work for my company, okay? So it's gonna be really cool for you to get that certification, be able to say I'm a certified service provider, even though I will literally say, I don't think you need to go out there and say, I'm a certified graphic designer, I'm a certified this, and this. People will totally hire you regardless, but it's just what I'm calling the program, and then I'm going to give you a pretty certification, and then I'm going to give you the master classes, the courses, the club, the alumni status, all the things, okay? So I will drop all those details inside of this group. Again, I'm so thankful and happy to have all of you here with me today. It was a joy. It was a joy, and I feel like I am just going to be beaming with excitement all weekend long. Thanks to you guys for showing up and being here with me. I will drop the links inside the group, and I will see you guys next time.